And before we begin, don't forget we're having 50% off all of our courses using the coupon code BLACK. And if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, Father Alex, you could get 20% off using the coupon code BLACK, and it's only available at the end of the month. So if you believe that you need to develop these types of mindset, or you're dating a guy and he's unsure, I know you've been thinking of calling me. It's the holiday season. Don't act like y'all ain't fighting. But work with me one-on-one, or else I'm closing the channel. Let's continue with the video. If there's one thing that determines the quality of your relationships and how happy you're gonna be, isn't how attractive you are, isn't how good looking you are, isn't how much money you make, but it's pretty much your mindset. Your mindset is pretty much what determines your response to unpredictable situations. And if you're the type of person that responds negatively, that expects hostility, that expects people to play them, to betray them, all of those things will become self-fulfilling prophecy. And this is the differentiating factor between somebody who has a successful relationship and somebody who dies alone. The women that you see that die alone, that don't have a partner in their older age, a lot of the times they just had a negative mindset. And the problem about these types of negative mindset is that they get worse as you get older. In the beginning, they may not affect it because you're good looking. But over time, as you get older, you'll start to notice that this mindset will sabotage you. So let's talk about this, the type of mindset that attracts the type of guys that you want, that makes them fall in love, and above all, that transcends your looks. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to a long-term partner, it's really about how much I relate to you. And if you have a very negative mindset, then it's not gonna work out, okay? So the first one is this, okay? Is someone who pays attention to detail. And this is a product of love, pretty much, right? Somebody who doesn't love you won't pay attention to detail. And because of that, you won't feel appreciated. Somebody who loves you automatically pays attention to detail. Like when somebody falls in love, they notice the little twerks, the little words. Oh, he blinked different. Oh, she blinked twice. What does that mean? Like they start paying attention. They start to notice the things about you, and they start to connect the dots. Things that most people don't connect, they start to connect. They know the way that you like your asparagus. They know the way you like your oatmeal. They know the way you like this, the way you like that. They're able to predict your responses. That type of stuff, as a receiver, when I could sense that you could predict my responses, when you know when I'm happy, when I'm sad, that is flattering. But the problem is that the people who don't possess this are entitled. People who think they're doing you a favor, being with you, are the people who will never pay attention to detail. They're gonna expect you to pay attention to detail. And because of that, you'll feel resentful. You'll feel like, why am I with them, right? And this is why, if you're somebody who's entitled and you still have a relationship, I can promise you, you're not happy in that relationship. Because they don't feel appreciated. And because of that, they might overcompensate by worshiping you. And because of that, you don't feel like you're in an equal relationship. How are you going to be happy that way, right? It's like, it's not just you who deserves to be paid attention to. I deserve that too, right? And that's how some guys would think. And this is honestly at the core of most men's complaint. And that's that, you know how most men say that they don't feel appreciated. It just comes down to this, right? And usually it's because they're with a woman who settled for them a lot of the times, right? Now the next one is, she appreciates the little things, right? She doesn't want to go on a date in fucking Italy. She just wants to go on a walk with you. She doesn't want to go to the theaters. She just wants to stay home and watch a movie with you. She doesn't want to go on a yacht. She just wants to go on a walk. When you're with a woman who doesn't appreciate the little things, a lot of the times they're materialistic. They cannot appreciate you if they're not having the best dinner. It's like people who are addicted to drugs, right? They can't appreciate just a simple bottle of water. It needs to be Coke, like me, right? It needs to be juice. It needs to be something more. You're addicted to what? Dopamine. And when you have an addiction to dopamine in a relationship, you're not really connecting with them because there's an opaque screen of desires that's selfish, that's all about you, that causes you to not connect with the person, right? And this usually also means that they could be very materialistic, right? They only care about the splashes. A lot of times, if they're materialistic, they just care about what people think of them. They just want to post that photo of that dinner, right? And it's usually just what I want to make a good impression. I want to show people that my life is good. It has nothing to do with the person, right? So appreciating the little things shows a guy that, you know, you're a wifey material. Like, it shows a guy that that it's easy to make you happy, that you're not high maintenance. Honestly, people, you don't want to be high maintenance. What high maintenance means is that you need dopamine detox. That's what that means, man. You're not. The simple things don't make you happy, and because of that, it means most likely you might be depressed. How that works, people. Okay. Now, the next one is an empathic, not empathetic, an empathic attitude. Not the white girl who wants to go to Africa and take a picture with the African kids. No, but the empathic attitude where you feel compassion for people, where you see people and you could connect with them. You know what they're feeling. You don't just see their suffering and there's a disconnection. You can sense what they feel. You try to treat people good. You go out of your way to help people. You go out of your way to show people appreciation. When you're not empathic, usually comes because you're entitled, you never had to work for people's validation, or you were raised in a narcissistic household. You don't have this. You're all about being selfish, all about me. A lot of gold diggers don't have this because, you know, this happens too with guys, that when you objectify women because you want sex, sometimes when you're raised in a poor environment, you want to monopolize all the resources. You see men as a way to do that. And so it kind of morphs the way you see men. You see them as an object of money, right? And so this is honestly, I feel like this is, to me, the most important one. I think this is the most important one because if you don't have an empathic attitude, you're not going to have any of this, right? If you don't have an empathic attitude, you're not going to appreciate the little things in life, right? You're not going to notice the details, or your partner is not going to feel heard or seen, right? So an empathic attitude. The next one is masculine edge. This is more about your being respected, right? If you're way too feminine, it doesn't matter who the person is. They're gonna secretly want some masculinity from you. It's boring. Too much femininity is boring. Just like too much masculinity is intimidating, right? There's a certain level of like staleness to femininity when it doesn't have a mix of masculinity, right? You can't just, because everyone has an inner father, right? And everyone has an inner mother. Why? Because you come from both sexes. So you got to be able to tap into both and make it one. And what happens is that you have women who over-identify with their feminine, and because of that, they become doormats. They easily get played. You know, you're over-identifying with the stereotype of what it is to be a woman: quiet, submissive, not being assertive, right? Why? Because by you not tapping into your masculinity, you just overcompensate in your femininity. The energy that you should be giving to your masculine gets overcompensated to the feminine, and you become like a literal caricature of a woman, right? Now, this will cause a man to not respect you. It really does. Your kids will not respect you. You know, your friends won't respect you that much, right? The next one comes down to a grateful attitude. Like Grateful Dead, right? A grateful attitude is pretty much just an appreciation for what you have, not what you don't have. Like it's being happy where you are. And it comes down to the height maintenance things, right? Where if this is what your man gives you, and this is the best that he could do, appreciate that. Stop looking at the Joneses or the Tyrones and see what they have, right? When you don't have a grateful attitude, you're not happy. And nothing that I give you will make you happy. It might make you happy now, but because it's your default mode, what will happen is that eventually you're gonna want more. Eventually you're gonna start comparing yourself, what you have, to other people. And that's gonna lower the level of satisfaction of what you have. Everyone loves someone with a grateful attitude because you're happier. And by you being grateful, you attract more of what you're grateful. But when you're resentful because, oh man, he has a Mercedes, he doesn't have a BMW, like that will cause you to lose anything that you have already. Gratefulness attracts more of what you're being grateful of. Lack of gratefulness of what you have will cause you to lose it eventually. And it comes down to the next point, which is pretty, I was gonna say expansive, but it is that. It's an expansive attitude. An expansive attitude. Now, an expansive attitude is a type of attitude that expands to the contours of life itself. It doesn't constrict itself in fear and unknown. It expands to know the world, to reflect nature itself. That means that you're open to new experiences. Maybe you're not used to dating this type of person, but you just give it a try, right? Maybe you're not used to moving to that area because it's not a city, but you give it a try. Maybe you're not used to being in a slower pace, but because you have an expansive attitude, you give it a try. You're not the type of person that doesn't leave your city because your city has everything that it needs. You're not the type of person that limits itself to only being friends with Democrats or Republicans because you know there's more to people than their political belief system. You're not prejudiced of people because of their race, because of this or that. You understand that people are more diverse and more deep than that, right? You allow yourself to be in more unfamiliar situations. Let me grab this shit. What the fuck? I don't know why I'm reading over there, right? Let's read this, people. We're doing like reading in class type of shit, reading a report, right? You're able to adjust to setbacks, right? Honestly, if I'm with a woman and she doesn't know how to deal with failure, that's problematic. Because if she fails at something and doesn't know how to deal with it and sees me succeed, then she's gonna get jealous of my success because of her failure. That happens a lot, right? Where your success, it's like dating a guy who does this, where if you make more money, he'll feel offended, right? That's what I'm talking about. On top of having this expansive attitude, but you're also able to deal with conflict better, right? You're able to talk about situations and disagree and not break up the relationship. It's similar to people who disagree on politics and stop being friends. That's a constricting type of attitude, right? And you allow the conflict between you and your partners to grow. That means if you guys having a problem, a situation, you talk about it. And like I always say, conflict allows you to love each other more. You fall in love through conflict. Someone with an expansive attitude will eventually find and have conflict with people and grow from that. And eventually that person will have healthier and stronger relationship because it's been proven through fire. You guys been able to argue, fight, and still stay together. And above all, you're open to pain, right? You're not needy. You say if somebody's gonna hurt you, you don't say, oh, I'm gonna get hurt. No, you say, okay, it's time to grow. Somebody leaves you, you say, okay, it's time to grow. You don't grow resentful. You don't say, oh, the reason why we broke up is because of them. No, you take responsibility. You don't take things personal. You know, if somebody criticizes you, you don't get defensive about it. If things don't work out, you don't blame the other person. You find a way to blame yourself as a way, not because you're a victim, but because by you blaming yourself, it gives you the power to change the situation. That type of mindset, you may not get the hottest guy on the planet, but you're gonna get a happy, healthy relationship. Because it could be, if you're pretty and you have this mindset, might as well be ugly. Look at Amber Heard. That's how the cookie crumbles, people. Remember, pay attention to detail, appreciates the little things, meaning they're not materialistic. They rely on simple things to be happy. They have an empathic attitude. They have a masculine edge. They're grateful. They have a grateful attitude. They have an expansive attitude. And the last one is that you're willing to walk away. If you're not willing to walk away, then none of this matters. All right? Anyways, don't forget, we're having 50% off all of our courses using the coupon code BLACK. I don't have to repeat this, people. All of the courses, or you could purchase all of the courses in a bundle. On top of the discount you get from the bundle, you get 50% off on top of that, and 20% off working with me one-on-one using the coupon code BLACK. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.